Greetings, my beloved. I am Ekara. You know me from that series which we call the New Energy Human. I will be presenting much more information in the coming weeks as we will guide you. I and some of the others will guide you through this new type of energy called free energy and how you can work with it. It will be a wonderful journey and a joyful exploration of those parts of yourself that you have not yet been aware of up until now. It is a celebration, as Adamus has just put it, a celebration of who you truly are and how you can interact with yourself in that way. Tonight I will be answering your questions as you will be asking them, hopefully. And I want to ask all of you a first question, namely that you just direct your focus and your energy discipline to those areas that we have just browsed through as Adamus has been speaking. Of course, you can ask many questions. You can ask questions about your grandmother. You can ask questions about your uncle, about your dog, or about your little toe. But let's focus today on the questions that are based on the principle of free energy. This will be most interesting to the Imzaia listening in. I know that many of you, as you were listening to Adamus's message, were falling asleep. Now, this is not uncommon for this type of information. For this type of information, you see, is often processed on other levels than the conscious level. So if you are falling asleep, and if you find yourself in the coming classes falling asleep, just let it happen. Know that there is a part of you, that there is awareness that will fill the gap, so to say, fill the gap between your conscious self and your inner self. And oftentimes when you fall asleep, you will go to this inner self. And there you will process the information and the energy that has been given to you. Also be aware that next to the words that have been spoken tonight by Adamus, I and many others have been working with your DNA, with your cells, with your very body, so that you could open yourself up to a new way of existence. As I have opened myself up to this new way of existence, you know that I am about 4 years in your future talking to you from that point, and also about 38,000 years in your past, where I am talking to you from the old Lemuria. Today, I blend these two parts of myself to come here and now, so that I can answer your questions if you have them. But before we go there, Imzaia, I would also like to remind the listeners, and maybe even the readers at some point, that they can always email their questions to david@ilium.be. We will make sure that these questions get to others here in the audience right now, and that these questions will be read to me or to anyone doing a Q&A, so that you at home can enjoy the experience of interaction with us. It is a new way of thinking maybe, but if you have questions regarding free energy or any of the other topics that we have browsed in the last few months, just send them through email, and if they are interesting for the whole, so to speak, they will be asked and answered. Now, is there a first question in the audience? Oh, the silence is deafening.
How is it best to promote this free energy in your everyday life? Are there exercises and ways to do this?
So how can you integrate it, the new energy, into your daily life?
How can you fully accept it on a daily basis, kind of hold the vision?
Yes. Well, first of all, Adamus has given you many exercises that you can journey with in the coming days. How can you make it into a daily routine? Well, I would say that experiencing love, joy and freedom is about seeing love in all shapes around you, seeing it as a part of yourself. This is always the beginning. As you have been given an exercise today about the lava, and how you can flow this throughout your being and let it surround you and let all the things around you flow away, melt away into this lava. This is a very first step, of course, but it is a necessary step. If you take this step, you will see that soon after that things will start coming to you from what is now called the Akenet, if I understand correctly. If you use this Akenet, which we have been using in the New Lemuria for several months, in fact, since the New Lemuria started, if you use this, then you will see that things come towards you, things that are not of yourself and yet they are of yourself. It is not about exercising, it is not about taking time out of your daily schedule to sit alone in a corner somewhere meditating and doing these exercises. It is about everything that you see, everything that you hear, everything that you touch, everything that you smell, everything that you taste. Integrating these things as a part of yourself and becoming aware that they are not externalized, but that they are part of your inner self core. If you do this, you will see that your boundaries start to fall away and that you experience your energy in a totally different way. I know that during your Universal Manifest that many of you have been listening to in the past few months, you have been told many things, you have been given many exercises, but this is probably the most important of all, just to see things around you as a part of you. And I know on a mental level, many of you are understanding this, but if you look to yourselves, really, truly, and deep from within, you will know that you have not been living it. But you still see the world outside of you as a separate entity. Start practicing this, and you will see that you are losing some of the parameters that you have created for yourself, that you have put yourself into. It's like putting yourself into a skin and then saying that this body is your definition. It is not. The world around you isn't even your definition. It is the whole that defines you. And by the whole, I mean all that is. And if all that is defines you, then there is no definition. You see? So start practicing this. I know that you are one who has been working with the martial arts and using these martial arts to become more self-aware and aware of the things around you. This is a great way of practicing, but I would say that the practicing now is over. Use these martial arts as a way of walking through your life, so to speak. Don't separate it from daily experience. Just do it all the time. See everything around you, taste everything around you, and then place it onto the Akenet and transmit it to all around you. If you do this, you will see that things start shifting really fast. But you will understand more as these classes continue. Thank you. Namaste and all that. I'm going to turn this music off for it bothers me. Anyone else? La 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 la. No. A question.
I was wondering, what is the real difference between being the energy of who you are, the energy of your soul, of your Ekene, of who we really are, and the free energy? What's the difference?
Well, there isn't really a difference, except for the fact that the soul concept still creates separation on an energy level, not on a material level, but on an energy level. Much in the same way as you have a body, and the body separates itself from the world around it, even though it is created from the very same fabric, so to speak. The soul does the same thing. The soul knows and understands this part of the whole, but still sees itself as a separate entity. Otherwise you wouldn't be speaking about my soul and your soul. So the difference between free energy and soul energy is that soul energy would become one with all that is and then be free. Adamus has told you today that, let me see how I can put this. If you were to look at yourself, and if you were to see yourself as a part of God, then this is a lacking. If you turn it around, if you see God as part of yourself, then you are beyond the soul concept. The soul is still an idea that the soul stems from that which is God, so that the soul is still defined in a constrained energy. Free energy takes away all of these boundaries. Free energy doesn't talk about my soul or your soul. It doesn't even talk about the soul. It just talks about all that is. And there is no longer a separation between the body, the soul, and God. It is just all one. And this is a completely new way of thinking about things, even though from a point of view that is very deep, you already know this. But living it is different. If you go beyond the soul, then you will live this. Understanding that the soul is just also a temporary piece of energy that was created so that you could express yourself as a body. But going beyond the soul is going into free energy, basically, where there is no longer a timeline. Even the soul knows a timeline. Energy, and you will learn this in classes, energy also knows a timeline, even though energy doesn't separate itself with a beginning, a middle and an end from all the rest around it. It doesn't do that. But still, it has a beginning, a middle and an end. For energy can only exist in that which you call the field of experience. The field of experience doesn't limit itself to Earth. It doesn't limit itself to 3D. It would be unlimited from a human point of view. But from a Lemurian point of view, the point of view from where I am speaking to you right now, energy doesn't exist. I am beyond energy. I am in a place where there is no words. That is why Adamus called it free energy, just to give it a concept, just to give it a definition. But you will learn that you will go beyond words, that you will go beyond definition. For the Ekara, for instance, which you have just now started up, and thank you for that, because we are already using it in our present, in your future. The Ekara doesn't use words. It doesn't use feelings. It doesn't use emotion. It uses something which cannot be defined, but which you feel when you look at the world, when you look at another person. It uses, I'm trying to find words for this, there are no words. It uses what in the old Lemuria would be called Imzaia, which is love, but it is beyond love. It is everything that love includes. Like if you say, for instance, I love you. What is this? I love you. What feeling is this? Is this a feeling of passion? Is this a feeling of sexuality? Is this a feeling of friendship? Is this a feeling of brotherhood or sisterhood? Yes, but at the same time, Imzaia is all of these things. The Ekara will work with all, at all the time. So the place where I am in right now doesn't use a soul. It doesn't need a soul. It knows that a soul is still a unit, while it is no longer about units. It is about everything. And even everything is a unit. It is beyond that. But there are no words, especially not in English or in any other language that you use.
Like a kind of to be in the source, in the beginning, in the...
Yes, but the source, as you put it correctly, is still the beginning. It is about, the source would be that which you call the Big Bang, containing all energy. What happens if all that contained energy, which is source, is freed up, is spaced up, is timed up? There is no source, there is no point of origin when everything is equal. You see? This is what you would call the Christ consciousness. It doesn't stem from a source. It doesn't stem from a beginning. It has always been. And it will always be. So there cannot be a source. The source is the beginning of the stream. But the difference between source and what you would call the Christ consciousness is the difference between a source of a spring and the water itself, which has no beginning. You see? It comes. And it will continue to come into your life as you continue to open yourself up to new experience.
And can you tell then, what's a heart energy then? Because now we're learning so much, not more just to live from the heart, not from the mind, from the heart. But this is a step further, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The heart energy, you have learned when you were in England, when you were sitting in the Lemurian circle of stones called Avebury, and this Ekara has not been recorded, but I remember it. You learned there that the heart energy basically is your 144 frequencies times the 144 frequencies of every person times infinity. It is all that is. The heart energy is the Christ consciousness. And so it has no source. It does have a source in your body. It comes from the heart. But you must understand that where all the pieces in your body, all the cells, are limited by time and space, for they have a beginning, a middle and an end, the heart energy is timeless. It is spaceless. It is everywhere. So your heart is in all living things. And this is what the Akene teaches you as you link your own heart energy with the back of the skull, with the heart of all things. And then move on to the center of the brain, where you put the memory of the now, and you take it down again. This is going beyond your own source. And this is what Adamus was explaining before, what the universe and what the all awareness has been doing since this innocent little experiment called Earth and the universe has begun. Namely, it put awareness in a space beyond awareness, where awareness cannot even communicate with its old self. It is beyond, and this is what you will find in the coming days. For you are about to take a journey, are you not?
Yeah.
Yes, you will find this.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? You were supposed to have 1,000 questions.
Yeah, but it's not in a general way, maybe.
Not in a general way.
I've been trying to understand this thing about the channeling in the new, about the new Lemuria and some roles in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing anymore. Like I just don't understand really why those roles are still there.
Which roles?
Like with the president and
yes. Well, I can tell you about that very shortly. We have translated these concepts into words you can understand, such as president and king and all that. Of course, these are not the roles that you know today. It's not about the presidency that you know today. It's not about the kings and queens that you know today. These are people in the New Lemuria who don't place themselves above others. They place themselves below others and at the same time are equal to others in the sense that they learn how to read the needs of others, and so they are in service to others. And this is what the real presidency has always been about. If you were to look at Neanderthals, for instance, one of the people thousands of years ago hundreds of thousands of years ago. One of the people that was the leader, actually, of the tribe was the medicine man and the medicine woman. These were people who held the knowledge, but used the knowledge that was coming from everyone, so that everyone could be bettered. They were in service to others and not above others. We have just taken these concepts that you know today, such as president and king and what have you not, so that you can understand this.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's still talking about individual.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Individuals, in the sense that you are still in a field of experience, but where you have experienced the energy in the past, you now become the energy. And this is quite different. Right now, here and now, you are a person in a body, and you experience other bodies around you. In the New Lemuria, we still see bodies around us, or energies, but we aren't just our own, we are all the others as well. It is because of the achinaic cells, and that which Adamus has just explained, that you will see that there is no more boundaries. That's the difference. There is no more boundaries between one and the other. So the ocean is the beach, and the beach is the ocean. It just flows into one another all the time. And even though you have individualized expression in the New Lemuria always leads to what you would call, I'm looking for words for this because we don't have the same words, that you would call the innermost individual self that you can find in everyone around you. If you were to be completely aware of that which you are, you will no longer divide yourself from any other. You would understand that that which is you also lives in each of the others. So in the same way that God is part of you, all of the others is also part of you, making up the whole of you. You are in a group of people now, and you are one individual in this group of people. What you would know in the New Lemuria is that this group of people, these people here, are individuals themselves, but to you, they are the aspects that make you who you are. It is like you would be the synthesis of everyone around you. And so you would be an individual, but all the others around you would be a part of you. And you would be the synthesis, the definition of all that is around you. It is difficult to grasp right now because things aren't just wired that way. But in a way you understand. I know you do. It is the same way when you dream, for instance. When you dream, you are all that is around you, and it is much easier to understand this when you are dreaming than when you are awake. You see? So you will understand. Okay? Thank you. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? No more questions about free energy? Or about grandma? Isn't it funny how at other times during the day you are all just chit-chatting away to each other like question, 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 answer, 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 explain this, explain that, and then when the time comes you have no questions to ask. This is funny.
Maybe I can ask a question. It's not about free energy.
Of course it isn't.
Maybe it is, but I have an experience when I go sleep I see some liquid energy in the air.
Yes.
And it's moving around.
Mm-hmm.
You can explain what it is, or?
Yes, well, your question is about free energy. What you are seeing is just a very limited scope of your entire field of perception when you are in a state of free energy. So the liquid energy that you see is basically you communicating to you from another space that is you. You understand? You are seeing yourself projected in the energy around you, and it is just you trying to make yourself aware that you know who you are already. This is who I am. This is who the masters that have been talking to you really are. They are just aspects of you. Everything is an aspect of you. So you have been going through quite a leap in consciousness in the last few weeks, actually. And this is just an opening up of a true sense. The eyes and the ears and all that aren't true senses. With free energy, you really have the ability to experience yourself from different perspectives. And this is what is beginning to happen. It is you communicating with you from other spaces than you, if you understand this. And that is what is going to continue to happen. You will know and you will see that as this process continues, that you will see this energy larger and larger and larger, becoming...
That experience.
Yes, yes.
In the beginning it was small, and now sometimes I wake up in the morning and I see it in all my room.
Yes, yes.
Around me.
You see you all around you.
Yeah.
That is what you are seeing. And this is very difficult to grasp because it has not been the way that humanity has experiencing the world, has been experiencing the world around themselves. But you will cope with this as time progresses. You might even find that as this continues, you will not wake up in your bed, but you will wake up in the corner of your room. You will wake up on your ceiling. It is all you. You will wake up as your chandelier. You will wake up as your closet. You see? It will continue to evolve. And you will understand in the end that your body is just a part of you. But that the closet is also a part of you, and the bed itself.
But it means that you go out your body?
No, it means that your body becomes more than your body. It is not about leaving the body. It is just understanding that everything you see around you is your body.
I have the same when I see to some rocks or some plants.
Yes.
It becomes liquid. When
Yes.
I see long enough, I have the idea it is not a form, but it's liquid.
Yes. And because of your great passion for plants, this is why you are aware of how they need to be treated. And this is what you, of course, will be doing in your passion in the supposedly new world. You see. Just understand at any given point that the plants that you are working with and the food that you are eating and everything is just a part of you. It is you. It is your body. Everything you see around you is your body. Always.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? No more? Okay then. Then there is one last thing for me to say. I must excuse myself for my funny use of voice at this point. We are having a great party. We are having a great celebration from my perspective, where we are right now. For this is the point in time where humanity is dealing with the most difficult aspect it can be dealing with, namely letting go. So I myself am a little bit tipsy on energy, basically. Tipsy on the new energy that is coming in, the free energy that is now just not a part of my now, but also beginning to be a part of your own now. So these worlds that I inhabit and that you inhabit, these timelines are getting pretty close to one another. And as they are getting closer, so the vibrations keep shifting. So this is a time for great celebration for us. How could it be that I would not be partying right now? When timelines connect, like it has been a very long time ago when Avalon connected to Camelot, it is always a time of great renewal, always a time of great shift. So we are in party mode, although Adamus was putting you half asleep. We are in party mode, and we just want you to know that you are very, very welcome. Very welcome to join our timeline. That we are very, very grateful. For we are a timeline which is of course your future, but at the same time, we could not exist if it weren't for this blending of timelines. It is always this way in intergalactic, interdimensional reasoning, that that which is the reaction occurs before the actual action. It is the reaction that in the end will define the action that will create the eventual reaction, which is the action. Do you understand? So we were in sorts an experiment that might not take place at all if the eventual action would not follow the reaction. And you have put into action that which will lead to the reaction. So that is why we are partying. Sweet Imzaia, sweet Shambra, sweet light workers, sweet energy weavers, sweet new Lemurians, I, in name of the Lemurian people, trillions and trillions of entities that recognize themselves as one, that recognize themselves as a whole, and that do not separate themselves as a mind on its own. I thank you. I respect you. I bid you welcome to the future. And I thank you for inviting us into the past. It has always been this way, that new potentials are created, that the potential is a reality unto its own. But to the past, it is just a potential. And if the past chooses a future, then the now is created. The now of the heart. So thank you in name of yourself. And thank you in name of the Lemurian people. Once this Q&A is over, we will leave you alone for a little while. And I will return in several days to give you the second part of the Ekara and Eyae story, my story, where we will now put the concept of energy discipline not into universal love, but into universal joy. And then I will return again to do the same thing for universal freedom, as has been promised on Mount Charleston, in Nevada, USA. Of course, as those who are here, most of them, already know, we had no option of eventually going to the second and the third mountain, as we told you we would do during the New Energy Human Part 2. Things shifted. Things always tend to shift really quickly when we are creating a new reality for all that is. But we will continue the story. I just want to let you know this, and I bid you good night, good love, good energy. I hope you will create the best possible future for yourselves, in understanding that creating the future is no longer looking at the past, but looking at the best potentials of the now, and in understanding that this now is already a reality. This is why I am communicating to you today. I am in your future, yet I am in your reality already. Have a good night, have a good sleep, have a good glass of wine, and celebrate the free energy that is coming in. In name of all the others, which is me, I say, and so it is. Eya ich, oya ich.